Are you ready to completely skip that dreaded DMV line and easily renew your driver license right from the comfort of your own couch? Seriously, if you value your time and want a reliable, step-by-step roadmap to navigating the state bureaucracy without ever leaving your house, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome! I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this explainer today. Just think about it for a second. No taking time off work, no sitting in those stiff plastic chairs waiting for your number to be called, and definitely no unexpected paperwork surprises. Today, we're going to dive deep into the convenience, security, and sheer efficiency of South Dakota's digital online portal. Instead of forcing you to make an in-person appointment at a physical exam station, the state has built this highly streamlined digital pathway. But, like any government system, it's got some pretty strict rules. So we're going to decode those rules together so you can get it right the very first time. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First up, we'll cover prerequisites and documents. Then we'll walk through the actual online renewal process. After that, we'll look at nomads and special scenarios. Then common pitfalls to avoid. And finally, some pro tips for a totally smooth experience. Let's just dive right in. Starting with Section 1, Prerequisites and Documents. Let's look at the baseline requirements you need before you even log on. Okay, so South Dakota restricts online renewals to verified low-risk applicants. You're eligible if you already have a federally compliant license. Just look for that little Real ID gold star right up there in the upper right corner of your card. You can apply within 180 days, or basically 6 months, of your expiration date. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You can only renew online once every 10 years. Since standard licenses are valid for 5 years, this creates an alternating pattern. The state essentially mandates that you come in person every other cycle so they can grab an updated photo and re-verify your biometric profile. Oh, and you are not eligible if your license has been expired for more than 30 days or if you're a non-U.S. citizen, simply because immigration statuses require physical, in-person verification. Now, an absolutely crucial point is proving exactly where you live. South Dakota takes this very seriously. You've got to be prepared to digitally upload 2 separate physical residency documents. And these documents must display your first and last name, match the exact address you're applying with, and be dated within the last 12 months. Acceptable proofs are things like utility bills, pay stubs, bank or mortgage statements, renters or homeowners insurance, tax documents, or active vehicle registrations. And listen closely to this part. Handwritten mail, handwritten envelopes, or photocopied documents are strictly rejected by the state examiners. No way around it. You need to have the high-resolution originals ready to scan or photograph. Moving right along to Section 2, the online renewal process. Let's look at the actual step-by-step workflow you're going to experience. So there are 4 main stages you'll progress through on the digital portal. Step 1 is the initial eligibility check, where the system asks for your name, date of birth, license number, and the last 4 digits of your social security number just to pull up your active file. Step 2 is profile creation. Step 3 is the actual application and document upload, where you'll verify your physical characteristics and attach those 2 proofs of address we just talked about. And finally, Step 4 is the electronic payment gateway. Knowing these stages ensures you know exactly what order to expect things to happen with no surprises. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I ensure this whole process is secure? Well, that brings us back to Step 2, the SD.gov profile. This brilliantly illustrates South Dakota's push towards secure digital governance. You literally cannot complete your renewal without creating an authenticated single sign-on profile on SD.gov. And it's not just for your driver license. This unified registry securely links your identity across all South Dakota state agencies. Whether you're making a state park reservation or buying a hunting license, it's all in one spot. This centralization drastically reduces the chances of identity fraud and ensures your sensitive data is protected behind state-level encryption protocols. Next up, Section 3, Nomads and Special Scenarios. Let's explore how the state handles unique demographic needs, which is a massive feature of South Dakota's system. The Department of Public Safety actually adapts its protocols based on exactly who is applying. For instance, if you're a minor, under 18, you've got to upload a notarized parental consent form signed by a guardian. If you're a senior driver, age 65 or older, regulations require you to prove visual competence. You can absolutely still renew online, which is great, but you must upload an official state vision statement form completed and signed by your eye doctor within the last year. And then we have our nomads, which definitely require a bit more explanation. So what if you're a full-time traveler, an RVer, or a digital nomad?
Well, South Dakota holds a highly unique administrative position nationally here. Their laws actually legally accommodate individuals who utilize mail forwarding services and don't have a traditional, permanent stick and brick home. It's honestly an incredible system that allows the state to attract mobile populations. But as you might expect, it comes with rigorous alternative documentation requirements to prevent any abuse of the system.
If you fall into this full-time traveler category, here is exactly what you need to upload. First, a comprehensive signed residency affidavit, which does include a perjury statement. Second, you must have a printed receipt showing you spent at least one night at a South Dakota hotel, motel, campground, or RV park within the last 12 months. That physical one-night stay receipt is absolutely mandatory. It is non-negotiable. Finally, you must upload a document proving your personal mailbox or PMB address, something like a service agreement from your mail forwarder. And a critical warning here, the state explicitly rejects purely virtual or digital postal addresses. It must be a licensed, physical mail handling storefront located right in South Dakota.
Moving right into Section 4, Common Pitfalls. Let's talk about the hard stops and conditions that immediately disqualify you from online renewal.
So, the real key here is understanding when you absolutely must bite the bullet and go to a physical exam station. Standard renewals and minor address updates, totally fine for the online portal. However, if you hold a commercial driver's license with a hazardous materials or hazmat endorsement, federal Homeland Security protocols mandate in-person background checks and fingerprinting. No way around it. You cannot renew that online. Furthermore, if you wear bioptic telescopic lenses for vision correction, you're entirely ineligible for remote renewals simply because examiners must directly evaluate you in person.
Let's tackle a super common scenario. What if you've recently changed your mailing address? Well, the good news is you can simply request a duplicate ID online to update your address on file, provided you upload your 2 new proofs of residency. Easy enough, right? However, if you have had a legal name modification, say due to marriage, divorce, or a court order, this triggers a mandatory in-person visit. You absolutely cannot change your name printed on the license online. You must bring original, certified government documents, and I mean originals, not photocopies, directly to an examiner.
Okay, let's wrap up our guide with Section 5, Tips for a Smooth Experience. Just some final, highly practical advice. Let's talk money for a second. You can expect to pay about $40 out of pocket for a standard renewal. That covers the state's $38 base fee, plus a minimum $2 credit card processing surcharge for the portal and network fees. Oh, and make sure you have your Visa or MasterCard ready because those are the only 2 accepted. Honestly, $40 is a small price to pay to avoid those plastic DMV waiting room chairs we talked about earlier, right? Setting realistic timeline expectations is also vital here. The online window opens 180 days before your license expires. So let's call the day you submit and pay day 0. Once submitted, Department of Public Safety examiners actually sit down to review your digital uploads and perform background checks. Under normal volumes, your new physical card will be printed and delivered to your mailbox in about 4 to 6 weeks. And a massive pro tip here. Upload your documents digitally as PDFs or clear photos. If you choose to apply online but then physically mail your vision forms or residency proofs to the state capitol, it's going to severely delay this timeline. Just upload them. Now, we all know technology isn't perfect, and sometimes you might get locked out of your newly created SD.gov profile, or maybe you encounter a weird payment error. If you face any technical portal issues, whatever you do, do not call the general licensing number. Instead, call the dedicated SD.gov help desk at 605-773-3011 during standard business hours. They are specifically equipped to handle password resets and account lockouts so you can quickly get back to your application without pulling your hair out. As we close out, I just need to provide a quick but super important disclaimer. Government policies, fees, and administrative codes can and do change over time. The information in this explainer is intended for guidance and educational purposes based on current state frameworks. So always verify the most up-to-date requirements, legal interpretations, and exact operational hours directly on the official South Dakota Department of Public Safety website before you submit your documents. So armed with this complete roadmap, are you ready to reclaim your time, bypass that DMV line, and renew your license online today? South Dakota's system really proves that with a little bit of preparation and the right documents, digital governance can make our lives remarkably easier. But it also leaves us with a fascinating thought to ponder. As more states follow this exact model, integrating mobile driver's licenses and unified single sign-on profiles, how will the very concept of physical, in-person government services continue to evolve and reshape our daily lives over the next decade? Thanks so much for learning with me today, and safe travels on the road ahead.